I've already made up my mind. I can't. I've already made up my mind. I've already made up my mind. I can't. I've already made up my mind. I've already made up my mind. I can't. I've already made up my mind. I've already made up my mind. I can't. Because I haven't before. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard Podcast. It's official, gang. 3.1 million listens to the Neville Goddard Podcast. I've already made up my mind. I can't. Just because I haven't. People will stick with bad decisions. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed when you do it? I've already made up my mind. I can't. You know, here's the thing. Based on history, based on facts, I've already made up my mind. I can't. Not one of you should be able to understand the sound of my voice, and not one of you should be walking. You learned how to walk without knowing how to stand. Watch babies. They're exploring walking before they can stand. And you learned a language without knowing how to speak. I've already made up my mind. I can't. I've already made up my mind, Mr. 20. I can't. Dive deeper. I can't do the Static into Sleep. I can't do Manifesting Mastery Course.com. I can't do Triple D. Oh no. Dream Driven Day starts April 10th. I've already made up my mind. I can't. Here's the thing. I love one sip of coffee. You know, my buddy Q, Quentin Priest, he wrote a little book on my coffee game. You can get it at Amazon.com. Just Google it. You'll find it. Well, search for it there. Whatever. I've already made up my mind. I can't find it, so I won't even try, Mr. 20. I've already made up my mind. That's the old and cold buffalo, my Native American ancestors would tell me. The old and cold buffalo, all alone out on the prairie. I've already made up my mind. I can't make friends. So why would I join Triple D? I've already made up my mind. I can't afford that much money. I've already made up my mind. I can't. You can be your arguments, or you can be an adventure. Think about it. For a lot of people you notice, if you want to fit into the great big Me Too club, which contains about 96% of the people on this planet, I've already made up my mind. I can't. All right, base your future on the past. All right, do that. I've already made up my mind. I can't walk, so why would I try? I've already made up my mind. I can't speak a language, so why would I learn one? I've already made up my mind. I can't. Be as little children. One of the things we do in Triple D is we explore being curious. I'm infinitely curious about curious and other things like the happy chemicals and other things like Demolition Day, because you get to demolish what you've been in the most lovely way instead of defending it. I can't, Mr. 20. Not this time. I've got excuses. Like I said, you were either going to be God having the adventure of a lifetime or God listening to endless freaking arguments. Got to think about it in the Old Testament. So the two women had a baby. Well, they didn't have a baby together, but there were two women claiming that I'm the mother. And Solomon said, cut the baby in half. Give one half to each woman. And one of the women screamed, no, don't. And he said, give the baby to that one. Because that's the one that cares. That's the real mother. You can be careful all your life. I can't, Mr. 20. I've got to be careful about what people think. I've got to be careful so I don't fail. I've got to be careful. I'd rather you be caring. Every day you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing another day of your life. Every single day. There are no excuses in my world. Can you tell? This is why I've managed to walk away from a diagnosis of PTSD. I've managed to walk away from a crippling diagnosis of scoliosis. Think about it. In my lifetime, I was born 3 months early. I was the allergy kid. I would miss school sometimes like a month at a time. Nuns were trying to figure out how not to hold me back because legally, I'm getting to the point where they should be holding me back, but intellectualizingly, I'm, one of the top 3 people in my class. I got better grades when I stayed home. I wasn't worried about being picked on and getting pissed and pissing the bed and shit. But anyway, PTSD, scoliosis, I moved around the world, all that good shit. I do what I love for money. I do what I love while I make great money. I do what I love to have impact in the world. Can you imagine waking up and feeling a sense of mission, and going to bed feeling a sense of accomplishment? DreamDrivenDay.com. I'm inviting you. I'm imploring you. We start April the 10th. That's 14 days, 13 days from the moment I make this. I'd have to look. Somewhere about half the seats are gone. That means, like, if one person a day joins, they all go, and then somebody won't get in. But meanwhile, I've already made up my mind. I can't. I used to be a sniveler. I want you to spread your wings like the eagle does. I want you to be lifted by invisible air currents high into the sky. I want you to have altitude and attitude. In other words, I want you to have perspective and play. If you don't want it, I've already made up my mind. We do have a payment plan. You can split it into 2 payments. That's all right. If you got questions, ask me. Because here's the deal, gang. You are God having the adventure of a lifetime. Do not settle for arguments for your limitations. Like I said. See, I like saying that a lot. Like I said. Like you know. You learned how to walk before you could stand. You learned how to speak before you even knew what you were listening to. You learned a language without knowing one. And don't tell me using that language that you're stuck where you're standing right now. That's bullshit. And this is where I say, join us in DreamDrivenDay.com. DreamDrivenDay.com.